Welcome back. This is the World News, and I'm Randolf Jamias to give you the second half of the stories. On top story, an avalanche swept away climbers and their camps on the world's 8th highest mountain in northwestern Nepal on Sunday, killing at least 9 climbers, with another 4 missing, police said. 5 climbers were rescued. Captain Pasang of Mountain Air said the bodies of the German climber and a Nepali guide recovered from the snow on 26,781-foot Mount Manaslu, about 60 miles northwest of Kathmandu. The accident took place at 22,950 feet, making it difficult for land rescue teams to reach. Helicopters were dispatched to the remote area to look for those missing after the early morning accident, but cloud and fog were complicating rescue efforts. Details for the avalanche and the nationality of the missing climbers were not clear. September marks the beginning of the autumn climbing season, which runs through November. Back in Japan, Japanese non-life insurance has to utilize smartphones to reduce car accidents. The move comes as casualty insurance was pulled way down by rising claims for payouts that result from car accidents. Let's have the details.
Home for Japan and Nippon Koa Insurance have jointly developed a smartphone application that's designed to prevent rear-end collisions. A smartphone with this software will use GPS function. They'll measure the speed of the car. A camera will gauge the distance with the car in front. When a vehicle gets too close, the smartphone will sound an alarm to tell the driver to slow down.
Paying out accident claims is the top priority for an insurer, but we also consider it important to prevent accidents and take appropriate measures. We need to promote safe driving as well. It's our mission to help address these challenges.
Mitsui Sumitomo Insurance has developed a different smartphone application. It grades the driver's skills by monitoring sudden acceleration and braking. The software can also give some tips for safer driving.
Now, Canada has created innovations that they call smart blankets, made specially for patients with sleeping problems. A blanket made of conductive fabrics and featuring more than 100 sensors linked to a computer could offer a more comfortable hospital experience for future patients, according to its Toronto-based creators. Ben Gruber reports.
Imagine a blanket that can tell how well you're sleeping. For researcher Randolf Jamias and his team at the University of Toronto, that idea is starting to take form. The researchers are developing IM Blankie, a next-generation smart blanket woven with conductive fibers and sensors.
It's just a blanket. It has a nice pattern. It could come in different colors. It could work very well with your decorative scheme in your bedroom. You use it, you don't have to worry about it, you don't have to calibrate it, you don't have to program it, it's all there. It's not threatening a medical device.
But according to Carol, a member of the design team, that is exactly what IM Blankie will be. A new version of the smart blanket will not only be equipped with sensors that will monitor the vital signs of patients in hospital, but also track their movements during sleep.
We're taking the same concept that we developed in the first blankie, namely the ability of the blanket to know its position in space. But we're developing with a specific user in mind, and in a way our collaborators in this is the health industry. So we have some faculty that are interested in sleep disorders and monitoring sleep disorders.
The blanket is made up of 104 fabric sensors designed to look like flowers, all connected to form a network. Using conductive thread, these network grids cover the entire blanket, which can upload its movement to a computer in real time. El Curry believes that in the future, materials we use to weave clothing or build surfaces will all have some level of smart capability.
Eventually, every single object around us in our household surely will be embedded with some kind of technology, some computational capacity, potential for communicating with other objects, an IP address, etc. This is, but we want to we are trying to look into this process and try to find ways to integrate this new technology in an interesting and also aesthetic way.
El-Khoury wants to make sure that beauty of design isn't lost in the rush to incorporate new technology. He says the ability to monitor blood pressure and temperature in real time isn't worth very much if you can't cuddle up with a warm, welcoming blanket for a good night's sleep.
Back in China, the country recently carried out the three-dimensional lightning monitoring over Diaoyu Islands, improving the accuracy of weather forecasts of the islands. According to Ma Qiming, professor of Meteorological Observation Center with China Meteorological Administration, China has set a new three-dimensional lightning position indicators in 4 places. Thunder and lightning disasters often happen in China, and the casualty of the disaster for each year can reach 1,000. The 4th station will provide the time, position, strength, and other statistics of the thunder and lightning over Diaoyu Islands. According to CMA, China has initially built a national lightning monitoring network with 326 stations, covering 80% of land area. If you're into food, you will most certainly not want to miss this. The 3rd China Catering Expo is cheering up the culinary part in Macau, presenting delicacies from across the country, highlighting the food cultures of different regions. There's much more besides delicious bites.
With such intricate presentations, these stalls take the visitors to the hometown of the delicacies. Occupying 35,000 square meters and more than 1,000 booths, the expo gathered more than 200 restaurants and catering enterprises from 24 provinces in China.
This dish is made from white bait, a specialty nutrient. It is nutrient-rich, and it is good-looking too, as we had famous artists paint the beautiful lake scenery on the container.
Moving on from the water towns of the regions south of the Yangtze River, exhibitors from southwest China's Chongqing spices the expo up with the world's biggest hot pot.
The hot pot has a diameter of 10 meters and it weighs 13 tons. There are 56 small pots around it to represent the unity of China's 56 ethnic groups.
The 3-day fair also features activities such as forum and conferences, business matching, fashion and gourmet shows, and much more. Catering enterprises from 25 countries also came for their mouthful.
So I came here and I found Chilean product in the samples. And also I can see that the exhibition grow very fast. Now it's more exhibitors and more people, so it's good. So I will recommend my country to participate in the next exhibition.
China Catering Expo was first held in Chengdu in 2005 and then Xi'an in 2006. And this is its first time in Macau to sizzle up the scene. It went with CCTV.
Moving now to Australia. Sydney's Sea Life Aquarium reopened on Monday after a $10.42 million refurbishment over 9 months. The new oceanarium said it now displays a total of 13,000 animals of 700 different species in 8 million liters of water. The main feature of the reopening was the Shark Walk, a glass viewing area that displayed over 50 sharks. In the week leading up to opening, workers used cranes to lift some of the heavier creatures into their new home. Sydney's Lord Mayor Clover Moore said the new oceanarium will attract more tourists to the city. The reopening also unveiled 14 newly themed areas, including the tropical Bay of Rays, Discovery Rock Pool, Mangrove Swamps, South Coast Shipwreck, and Dugong Island.
You know, we're a harbour city, and I mean, this is fascinating because this is what's happening just below us, and to get insight into that, I think is quite a wonderful experience. So I think it'll be very popular.
Something musical for our final note. The Austrian Alps famously inspired Julie Andrews to launch into song in the film The Sound of Music. Once used by shepherds to communicate from one mountain to the other, yodeling is once again ringing out around the mountains. A hiking trail in western Austria now encourages tourists and locals alike to drop their reserve and belt out a tune at the top of their lungs. The idea came from Christian Eder, who started yodeling just 2 years ago. At the various points dotted around the landscape, at an altitude of 2,000 meters, hikers can learn traditional yet simple yodels with the help of audio recording, signboards, and props. Yodeling is undergoing a revival in Austria as people try to reconnect with traditions. Inaugurated in summer, the trail has already welcomed a number of new yodelers, making sure that these hills are still alive with the sound of music. That's all we have for today on World News here on Myanmar International. Thanks, and hope to see you again next time.